grab your wings, cheese boards, how about a beverage or two? Get ready for an incredible Saturday of football. The Tennessee Titans are coming off the first round bye. They host the Cincinnati Bengals. Meanwhile, that game kicking off at 4:30 on CBS. The nightcap, 49ers visiting the frozen tundra in Green Bay. Both home teams the favorites. We have the pleasure to welcome in 10-year defensive lineman Douzable. Thank you, my friend, for the time. Let's start with that first divisional game between the Bengals and Titans. What's going to be one key of the game you're watching for?
Yeah, the main matchup I'm watching is the Bengals wideouts versus secondary, more specifically the Tennessee Titans cornerbacks. You're talking about Christian Fulton, Janoris Jenkins, and Buster Screen. We've seen how explosive the Cincinnati Bengals offense can be. And with Joe Burrow at quarterback, he has been magical the last 3 games he's played. Over 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, doing a really good job of taking care of the football. His rapport with Jamar Chase is just out of this world. You've seen it numerous times. Him throwing the ball while Jamar Chase's back is turned to him before he comes out of the break. But it's not just Jamar Chase, right? He has a real rapport with T. Higgins and also Tyler Boyd. So I'm really looking forward to this matchup to see what Mike Vrabel will do with his secondary. They did a lot of off-man coverage versus Jamar Chase last week, and he killed the Las Vegas Raiders. Went for over 100 yards. He's been explosive his rookie season, over 1,400 yards. So I'm really interested to see what Mike Vrabel will do with his secondary. And then also Kevin Byard, the safety for the Tennessee Titans. I think he's going to play a major role. He does a good job of baiting quarterbacks into bad decisions. Let's see if he can bait Joe Burrow into a couple picks this Saturday as they play the Tennessee Titans.
And the Titans are getting healthy now in the postseason, just at the right time, what anyone wants to hear. But really, there are so many storylines in this matchup. What's one jumping out the most to you?
I mean, there's a few, but one that's really jumping out to me is the return of King Henry in this run game. The Tennessee Titans are going to be who they are. They like to run the ball effectively. Derrick Henry was averaging 4.3 yards a carry when he went out. But even when he went out, Devontae Foreman came in, and he was averaging 4.3 yards a carry. So this Tennessee Titans team is going to run the football. Can this Bengals defense stand up against this physical run game? Another thing I'm looking at is the loss of Larry Ogunjobi, the defensive tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals. Not enough people are talking about this. Yes, Trey Hendrickson gets all the praise, and rightfully so. He's a baller on the edge. But what Larry Ogunjobi has done for the Cincinnati Bengals defense has not been talked about enough. You see it right there, 7 sacks from the interior. You're talking about pressure up the middle. So when Trey Hendrickson comes around the edge and Sam Hubbard comes around the edge, the quarterback can't step up because Larry Ogunjobi is in the middle. And then that rotation that they have, right? You're talking about the depth of that rotation with Larry Ogunjobi, B.J. Hill, DJ Reader. With him not being there, that is going to hurt massively for the Tennessee Titans. So the loss of Larry Ogunjobi will be big. We'll see what they do, and can they mitigate that run game with him not being there. And then the last thing I'm looking at is Julio Jones. This is the game the Tennessee Titans brought Julio Jones in for. Now, it hasn't paid much dividends throughout the season because he's been banged up, but he looked really good in the last week's game, not last week's game, but the last regular season game versus the Houston Texans. 5 catches over 50 yards and a touchdown. And I've heard throughout the Tennessee camp that he's looked really good these last 2 weeks as they get ready to prepare for the Cincinnati Bengals. You're talking about if they slow down that run and then they double A.J. Brown, Julio Jones has to come alive. I think he's going to have a breakout game. He already came out in his press conference and said they're going to put on a show Sunday. So I'm looking forward to Julio Jones really coming out and having a big game Saturday versus the Bengals.
All right, well, you really detailed both of those teams. So who are you picking to win this game?
Yeah, I'm taking the Tennessee Titans on the money line. I believe the Cincinnati Bengals will cover. I just believe Derrick Henry coming back, the physical run game. The Cincinnati Bengals have struggled the last 3 weeks, stopping the run, giving up over 5.9 yards per carry the last three weeks. I think it bodes well for the Tennessee Titans in this game.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.